Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Warrior Wednesdays. My warriors, my warriorettes. How is everyone out there today? Um, I have had an amazing week so far, and on this Warrior Wednesday, I want to talk about financial wealth because I do believe that, we have an abundance of money, of income, and just on how we've been raised has either conditioned you for success or not success. And I've read books and I've listened to audiobooks on money because when I, being born, being raised as an indigenous person, most people, not even just indigenous community, we are not taught the fundamental values of money. We're not taught on how to have a sustainable life. And one book that really started to transform my life with money and how I started to think about financial success it's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. And some of you may have even heard of it or read it. But this book has really transformed my life on financial wealth and how I go about my everyday and how I spend my money and what I do with it. And I believe wealth, money, financial situations will bring us, wealth, or it'll bring us diseases, and it'll bring us negative attitudes, and it'll bring us all these things that we don't want in our life. And we're not taught about money. And that's why the rich will stay rich and the poor will stay poor, is because how we are brought up, how we are conditioned to be with money. And, you could be someone very obnoxious and not a very good person, but still be financially successful. And there's different opinions on Donald Trump, everyone has their own opinion on people. And yeah, he's not the most friendliest, I guess he's not the best people person, I should say. People love him or hate him, but that's with most people, most presidents, because they're put on such a high pedestal. But he is, living proof on you don't have to be the smartest person out there, but if you were raised in a wealthy family, you will end up attracting wealth because of the way you're brought up. And look at where he's at in life, banned from Twitter and all these things, but yet he still has money in his bank. He's still financially wealthy. He's still financially set. And that's because of how he was brought up and the things he was taught as a little kid that subconsciously is in his mind now and how he runs. And yes, you too can retrain your mind. You can subconsciously retrain your mind on how you think about money and how you obtain it and how you use it and invest with it. And one of the biggest things that I took away from The Richest Man on Babylon is, I believe I might get this wrong, but it's the 70-10-10 rule. Live off 70% of your income. You have to sit down and look at the numbers, look at what you're incoming right now, and look at what you're spending on, what you're doing with your money, because that's ultimately where you're at in life, is because your habits. And habits can be changed. Habits can be progressed into better or non-better ways. And if you start to do the 70-10-10 rule, your life will start to transform pretty drastically and pretty fast. You live off of 70% of your income. You save 10% of your income. And then if you have any outstanding debts, you use 10% to pay that off. And then you add an additional 10% to pay off that debt until there is no debt. And then you save. When you get to that point, you've already saved 10%. With that 10% that you started to save, and after you paid off your debt, you start to invest that 10% into things, into your hobby, into whatever you want. You can invest into NFTs. You can invest into Bitcoin, into crypto, into stocks, into small businesses. You can, ultimately loan it out to people. But the only way to get ahead in life is to invest. And when people hear investment, they get scared. They cringe. They don't know what to do. They think, everything is a pyramid scheme. Everything is out to just take your money. You never have money, so you're always scarce when you get it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm never ever going to get this money back if I invest it. Not realizing that it takes, experiences to live life. It takes doing things and trying things and failing in order to experience life. Because at the end of the day, when this is your last day on earth, you're not going to think back to yourself, oh, I wish I didn't invest into that, or I wish I didn't do that. No. You're going to look back on your life and you're going to be glad that you took chances, that you took risks, that you went all in, putting it all in on black, or bread on blackjack, right? That's how you experience life. And I believe money is energy, money's just a number, it is energy. And how you feel about money will ultimately either always have you chasing it, or either having it flowing to you abundantly. And when you start to look at money and your habits, you sit down and you say, hey, so this is how much I spend a month on rent. This is how much I spend on my bills. This is for, clothing or food or whatever, right? And then you look at what you make in an income. You can start to, divide it up, chunk it up, block it up to little attributes that make it, make your life more happy, because I believe that success isn't about $1 million or a bajillion or $1 trillion in the bank. I believe success is you waking up and being happy every single day. And we cannot have a successful life if we're not, financially stable. You don't have to have $1 billion in the bank to be successful. If you have food in your fridge and all your bills are paid off and you have zero debt and you get to go on trips, maybe once a year you get to go on a trip. And if you're happy when you wake up, then you're successful. I heard this quote and it really, really resonated with me, and I really think about it now. I would rather be happy in my Toyota than depressed in my Ferrari. And when I heard that, it just blew my mind on how so many people think that a Ferrari and a Bentley or something flashy and bougie will bring you happiness when it doesn't. There are rich people in this world that aren't happy, that are depressed, that hate life. And is that how you want to live life? Depressed? Or do you want to live it happy and in flow state and in love and feeling abundant and having gratitude in your life? To me, gratitude and success and happiness, hands down, would be where I want to live every day of my life. Not depressed and, with $1 billion in the bank, because money doesn't bring you happiness. Money can do a lot of amazing things. It's an amazing tool. But if you think that winning the lottery will bring you happiness, I guarantee you will not. Because if you go back and look and Google this, the stats are pretty profound on how people are worse off after they win the lottery. They're more depressed. They go bankrupt within the first 4 years. Marriages are broken up. Families are torn apart. Friendships are broken. They're not happy. And that's living proof that lotteries don't bring you happiness. Money doesn't bring you happiness. Waking up and having food in your fridge, having a warm bed to sleep in, to have your loved ones around you, to have no debt under your name, to have, resources to sustainable food, things like that, getting to go on these trips once in a year, or getting to see your family, or spending more time with your family, or doing something that you really enjoy more often because you do not have debt in your name and you're financially stable. That's success to me. And more people need to start realizing that success is you waking up and being happy at where you're at in life. And on how indigenous people used to live prior colonization, that's success, because we lived like that for over 10,000 years. We lived a sustainable life. Money is an amazing thing. It is energy, and you need to start retraining your thought on money and how you feel about it. And one thing that I started to do, I think I learned this in the magic, is when you spend anything or you receive anything, you don't have to close your eyes, but when you close your eyes and you say thank you for whatever you're doing, it shifts your mind on how you feel about money, and it puts your mind from a scarce, from a non-abundant, to being abundant. Gratitude will transform your life. So live off that 70-10-10 rule. Sit down, crunch your numbers, look at what you're doing and where your habits go with your money. Fix that, and then start to say thank you when you receive any bit of money, even if it's a quarter, even if it's in Canada we don't have pennies anymore, but even if it's the penny, if you're in America or wherever, right? Even if it's $1, if you receive any type of money, say thank you for this abundance of money. And when you pay a bill, when you buy groceries, when you pay for gas, whatever you spend your money on, start saying thank you as well. And it shifts your mind into gratitude. I started to do this and I was like, whoa, it just in an instant, I felt amazing. I felt really happy on, spending that money, on providing it for myself for certain things, for food or whatever, right? Because I didn't grow up in the wealthiest family. My mom struggled a lot of the times to give me what I needed or what I had. And now I look back on that. And as a kid, I didn't understand that. But now I'm truly grateful for all of that, because I understand the struggles of life. And it gives me more gratitude towards life. And me knowing that I work hard for my money. And when I spend it, I say thank you, thank you, Napika. Napika is what we call creator in my Tunacha language. So when I say Sukani Nupika, Sukani, thank you, creator. That's who, I pray to, is the creator. It's pretty powerful. So I challenge you to start saying thank you anytime you receive money and anytime you spend it. Because when you start saying thank you, that opens up your abundance on understanding that money is just energy. And how we feel about it is ultimately going to make us chase it or have it come to us. So with that, I'm done. On Winnegit. Sukani. Thank you for tuning in with me on this Warrior Wednesday. I hope this helped you today. I ask you take what you needed from this and leave what you don't, The things that I speak about doesn't always resonate with everyone. But if this really resonated with you, then that's good. And if it didn't resonate with you, that's good also, right? That's okay. Maybe in a year from now or 2 years from now, it'll click what I said to you and it might resonate. And it may not ever resonate with you. So just take what you needed from this conversation, from this podcast, and leave what you don't. And remember, everything always happens for the right reasons.